That's going to be exciting. All right, guys, you know what time it is. We got 6 things you should know. And number 1 on our list today is Louisiana Census Day, and it's a day to remind you to fill out that census if you haven't done so already. Yeah, the governor's office says that only 80% of people households have responded to the census so far. District 2 Representative Sam Jenkins says the low percentage of responses can negatively impact how much funding is given to local communities.
For 10 years, we try to count everyone who lives in the United States, and the reason we do that is because it helps us to distribute federal funding, but it also affects your representation in Congress, and it also affects your community, fire stations, hospitals, schools. All of that is something that's tied to the results of the census.
And there are only 3 ways to respond to the census: online, by phone, or by mail. Now, we have provided a link on our website at arklatex.homepage.com that will take you directly to that online form for you to fill out. Remember, filling out the census is required by law, and you have until September 30th. Yes, get that done. I actually forgot to get it done. They did come to my house. So did they really? Yes. They sought you out. Oh my gosh. And it was like, do you have 10 minutes? And I was like, you know what? Yes, I do. And I'm so sorry that I did not fill it out and you had to come hunt me down. Just do it online if you haven't done it already. 1, you don't want to get hunted down. 2, it's really easy to do. Yeah. Very easy. It'll take you 5 minutes or less. If that, yeah. If that. All right, guys, second on our list, maybe a little disappointing for some of us because we won't be able to keep up with the Kardashians much longer. Kim Kardashian West posted on social media yesterday that the family will be pulling the plug on their long-running show, Keeping Up with the Kardashians. According to our post, the show will end in 2021 after 14 years and 20 seasons on the air. The final season will air on September 17th. No! Does this hurt you? I'm so sad. Look, I get it. A lot of people do not like the Kardashians, but this is like my guilty pleasure show. Everybody's got one. So they're not going away. Like, we're obviously going to see a lot more of them. I'm sure there will be a multitude of spin-off shows here, but it just won't be like the same clan coming together. But I'm sure each one of them will kind of have their own spin-off deal. I was going to say I could definitely see Kim kind of doing her own thing because she was like the spotlight of this show. So maybe like the rest of the family wants out, but she definitely is the kind of person that likes the spotlight on her. It is a guilty pleasure. I've watched it. I dabbled every once in a while. I'd like to see how much money they have, things that I won't ever be able to afford. Billions. All right, guys, and many parents opted for their children to learn virtually this school year now due to COVID-19 concerns, but now some are concerned about their children's progress online. Yeah, NBC6's Jade Jackson spoke with an educational professor who says if parents aren't careful, these moments can have a lasting effect.
I want to go to the classroom.
5-year-old Nakaya, a kindergartner preparing for her Zoom math call with help from her great-grandmother.
Excited and nervous at the same time.
It's her first day, and she's already completed 2 early morning sessions. But right as she tried logging in,
and it's not working? No, it's saying sign in to join. This meeting requires authentication.
A technical issue, keeping Nakaya from learning. She's one of many students having difficulties with classes. Martin couldn't get his 2 boys logged in, so now they're playing video games.
I have to be able to make myself flexible and available to make sure they're doing what they're supposed to be doing. But, you know, when nothing's working, it's frustrating.
Nakaya is feeling frustrated as well. While at work, her grandmother has to keep calling Nakaya's teacher, trying to get the 5-year-old onto the Zoom call.
I want her to actually experience, you know, the classroom setting, kind of like when we grew up, you know, to socialize, you know, with the students. Even though it's, you know, social distancing, you know, we're practicing, you know, social distancing. I just really believe that it would be better if she was in a classroom setting.
Some mental health professionals believe the same.
Particularly the children from kindergarten through 5th grade, at those age ranges, still developing, so their ability to maintain their own attention, those kinds of things are really, really challenging.
And experts say that there are some ways to combat some of those effects, including getting plenty of exercise between virtual learning. And remaining social with other children via quarantine pods. That's tough. That is tough. I have a hard time staying at my computer all day long and not getting like... I'm that way with anything, like just focus in general. Especially I can't imagine having to spend all those hours at a computer and not having like the hands-on activities that you're used to. Yeah, I mean, especially for kids, you know, and like being around their peers. So if you have a kid that is doing virtual learning, definitely get them to exercise or Man, I don't know. It's tough. I'm not
Just
a
do
parent,
something.
but we're living in weird times, my
We
friend.
sure are.
Hopefully it'll be over soon. And if you got a sweet tooth, guys, listen up. Little Debbie is making a big splash with milk. They are teaming up with Kellogg's to make oatmeal cream pie cereal.
Like the sound of that. The cereal expected to hit store shelves this December for Little Debbie's 60th anniversary. Kellogg's confirms the cereal will be crispy oatmeal puffs with a cream coating.
I have a confession to make. I ate
here we
one
go.
of these oatmeal pies the other day.
So good.
We have a vending machine here at the studio, and they were all out of honey buns.
Is that your usual go-to in our vending machine?
My usual go-to is the honey bun, but when I tell you those are like sought after here in the studio, we all love them, and they run out so quick. Have you ever noticed that? I guess you probably don't get them, but
No, I noticed it because the morning crew is responsible for
who is
getting all
eating-
those out of the vending machine.
Who is eating all the honey buns?
I'm not
Josh,
gonna
our
say.
camera guy, is looking a little guilty. Is it you?
There's a lot of guilty faces around the studio right now.
He said he had one this month.
You like the cream pie, though?
No, I like the honey bun, and I was a little disappointed with the cream pie. But I mean, it was good, but it wasn't as good as the honey bun. But
So in a cereal, you're not excited for that at all?
I'll give it a go. I usually just have like Cheerios.
Just give it a try.
You're gonna try it?
For sure, anything that's not chocolate, that's sweet, like I will
You're
do.
like, I will
yeah,
take it.
for sure. Give me that.
All right, guys, moving on to entertainment. The Oscars announced a new set of guidelines for films looking to qualify for the Best Picture category. Now, changes are set to take place starting in 2024, and they must meet specific new rules. At least one of the lead actors must be from an underrepresented racial or ethnic group.
But there are alternatives. If the leading actors are Caucasian, at least 30% of the cast must be made up of women, minorities, gay people, or actors with disabilities. Filmmakers will also need to provide more internships and work opportunities to minorities.
Yay for inclusivity.
Yes.
And a new survey is shedding light on how the pandemic is changing our relationship with money.
NBC's Raphael Solomon has those findings and some advice to help you plan financially.
I'm definitely the person that if I see the money, I'll spend it.
For Stacey Kelly and Dog Guinness, life in Los Angeles can be expensive. But Kelly always thought she had a good handle on her finances.
I always put the most I could in the 401k, but I would spend pretty much anything I saw in my checking account.
She was spending hundreds each month at the hair salon and hundreds more eating out. When she decided to leave her job in content creation to start her own business and the pandemic hit, Kelly was unprepared.
I had no savings, I had no assets, and that's when I really just decided, like, I have to really take control of, like, where I am.
The pandemic has prompted many just like Kelly to get serious about their finances. In fact, in a new CNBC and Acorns Invest in You survey conducted by SurveyMonkey, 46% of people now consider themselves more of a saver than before.
I think our clients are much more in tune to their finances than ever.
The survey also found almost a third of people needed to tap or completely wipe out their emergency savings, and more than 1 in 10 needed to borrow money. Sun Group Wealth Partners Winnie Sun suggests for those with debt, pay that off first.
I always equate it to like swimming with a broken arm. If you have debt, that's your broken arm. It's really difficult to get very far.
Sun says once you paid off your debt, establish an emergency fund. Set up automatic savings for this as well as automatic bill pay so you don't miss payments and go back into debt. If you have extra funds to invest, concentrate on tax-free accounts like a 401k or IRA.
I actually have buckets and I can actually put money into it, which is really exciting for me because I never had that before. And I feel like I have control over where my money is going each time. And that feels really empowering.
Rahel Solomon, CNBC Business News.
And experts say some of those top reasons for people saving money are from not spending money on travel, nightlife activities, and spending less on personal care. I've been really good about that.
I haven't traveled anywhere, and I know that's a big reason.
Saving lots
I've
of
been
money.
saving is just not airline tickets,
Yes.
hotel rooms, you name it.
Next year, though. Next year.
It's all,
You'll
yeah,
use it
I'm
all
going to
up.
double up on it next year. It's all going to go away.
All right, guys, stay with us. We chat with author Dr. Tyrone Burton on his newest book release, which will challenge us to reshape what education will look like post-COVID-19. Plus, fall is right around the corner, and I'm going to be bringing you fall trends for boys later in the show.
And later we talk health and introduce you to the very best in acute care. We'll be right back.